everybody, and welcome back to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Avi, and today I will be playing your wonderful, real kind thief boy, Arata Satomi, and his little sister, Ichika Ashikaga. And with me today is my wonderful dear friend who I adore very much.
Hello, everyone. I am Karunchi Kitsune, and today I will be playing the Mirror System, specifically Aurelia for today. And she also has tagging along with her her butler Xavier Sterling, who wanted to be here as well.
Alright. Yes.
Yeah,
So, Aurelia, you have a little magic
yeah,
item that needs to be fixed up for an upcoming event, don't you?
that is, or should I say, formerly magic item, and it is her pocket mirror, uh, little golden pocket mirror that has it's got like kind of like a rose emblem on one side, and then on the other side it has like the letter A for her name, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably get more into like the details of that pocket mirror, but suffice to say, it used to be more magical, but because of reasons, it no longer is. But certain friend of hers, Azumi, told her that hey, he knows somebody who's good with arcane circuitry and stuff, so maybe she can take a look at it and hopefully fix whatever's wrong with it. Which is why today she and Xavier are stopping by the last one in to meet up with Arata and his little sister.
Yeah. I'm assuming you guys gave Arata enough of a heads up before you guys decided to come over.
Of course, yeah, they would have probably messaged him with a plot device, been like, "Hey, can we come over and we need to meet with your sister for this exact reason." Actually, we did have the written FPS we did where the gang was discussing, you know, how to deal with a certain devil that's been harassing her. And after that meeting, she would have taken her out aside to be like, "Hey, I need your help with this thing."
Yeah. It
Yeah,
did get brought up in the FPS itself.
yeah.
But I
It would have
don't
been like
think.
an off-screen thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes. But yes. You guys make it to Toontown, and I believe this is not your first time at the last one in. Ooh, words.
Yeah. Another for she's definitely been there at least once. After that whole debacle where they went into a parallel universe to save Tome, and then afterwards they all went to the last one in and had curry to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you do.
In true Persona 5 fashion. Um, okay. Let me see if I remember these things. It has not changed that much since you left. The funny thing is that the last one in is not a very plot heavy area, unless I say so.
Yeah.
Because with Arata not being in the last one in recent times, on screen at least, uh,
Mhm.
it's been very quiet, very very dead. And when you enter, it's a very humble looking establishment, very warm. The smell of curry and coffee wafting through the air. Um, there is a Toon working the secretary desk at the moment, who
Mhm.
looks like she's about to pass out because nothing is happening.
Oh.
uh, but you do hear a little bit of murmuring from the restaurant area behind the little lobby space.
Hmm.
I call it a lobby. It is very much an open area.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they need to talk to the person at the desk first, because if not, they'll probably just wander over to the restaurant area.
It's not a necessity. I've got to be real. This little rubber hose Toon rabbit. God bless her. She looks like she works two jobs, and this is the job that she's allowed to sleep on.
Uh, yeah, I think they'll probably won't bother her then if they don't have to. They'll just give like maybe a polite little nod as they pass by.
Mm-hmm. She gives a little
Yeah.
wave and then like comically pulls out a pillow from her hammer's space.
Xavier bites back a comment about like how how poorly the staff around here is if they just let him sleep on the job.
My dude, there is nobody here.
Fair enough, but you know what this guy is like.
Yes.
Very impossibly high standards. So
Yeah. And even then, it's not a very big establishment. It is tiny as hell.
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
but you come into the restaurant area, and it's an open kitchen situation. I don't know if I described this to you before, but it is an open kitchen. To the left side, you have the kitchen with a little like bar area, countertop, where you can look into where the chef is cooking. Um, and to the right are booth tables. Um, and you can see on the in the little kitchen area is a familiar face. Uh, Arata Satomi is there. He is at a pot currently cooking that is on the stove. Um, on the counter is a familiar cat who is currently curled up and sleeping.
Aw.
And at one of the tables is another real kind who looks to be human. Um, she has long orange hair and these big glasses. Um, and she is sitting in a way that is, how should I put it? Not ladylike. Her feet is on the seat and her knees are like to her chest, and she's kind of hunched over, and on the table in front of her um is a bunch of like little stuff for tinkering with, you know. um she's got a bunch of like little tools. She's also holding a device in her hand. um and she seems very absorbed in her work.
Fair enough. I think they won't comment on her posture, but I think both Ori and Xavier kind of have the collective thought of miss your posture, your posture though, your poor back. God,
She's a little gremlin.
she is, and we love her for it. Yeah, I think they'll both kind of probably greet Arata first. Ari's gonna say hi Arata. Xavier will kind of like nod to him and say like good day, Mr. Satomi. And I think the little torty cat that's like kind of scurrying around Ari's feet will just go Mrah!
And Arata kind of looks up and he goes, "Oh, hey guys. Yeah, welcome in, welcome in. Do you guys want something to eat?"
Sure, I'll take something.
Cool. Curry will
Um,
be done in a second. Uh, hang on. And he's gonna look around the little kitchen area. And he picks up a plate from off to the side. And you see him duck to another one of the burners on the stove that's been like had like a smaller pot, not pot, a pan that's like been left to sizzle a little bit. Um, he puts little like cooked tuna pieces on it, and then he
mhm.
walks around the counter and just kind of sets the plate on the ground so Angelique can eat from it.
Awesome. Yeah, she will definitely hop onto the counter and sniff at the treats. I mean, I think Xavier probably like leaves a couple of little smoked salmon treats nearby Jeannie.
Jeannie perks up, you know, the cat perking up where they like Open one eye, see
Yeah.
what's going on, and oh, food.
Nee.
Do a big old cat stretch.
Nee.
He goes,
So hello there, Genie. Good to see you again. Xavier will give him some soft little pats if allowed.
that woke up my cat. Oh, there she goes. She
Oh my
just
gosh.
she looked at me and then curled back to sleep.
Luna just like, what was that? Just nothing.
It's just my human being silly. Just a silly little guy.
I think Ari will take a seat at the counter then. I think Xavier notably doesn't take a seat. He'll like kind of stand off to the side nearby, but like I mean, I think would Arata know that like he also kind of doubles as her bodyguard, and like that's probably why like he prefers to like stand and like have a good view of the room, that kind of thing.
I mean, he probably would have assumed as much after the FPS.
Yeah, the whole discussion. So.
Mm. Oh god.
Mhm.
Things are falling off my desk. It's fine. um.
Mhm.
He is also going to offer Xavier something to eat. Just like, look, man, you can't be a bodyguard on an empty stomach.
I say, no, that's quite all right. I ate before I came here. That does remind me, though. And he'll reach into like his jacket pocket and pull out a very neatly folded little piece of paper, and he'll set that down on the table for Arata to get to later. Here's that Mosonian curry recipe that I promised you the other day.
Oh, thank you. And he's probably going to take that and tuck that into his apron pockets to look at later. Just so it doesn't get dirty while he's working.
Yes, of course. I do hope you'll enjoy playing around with that one. It's certainly a bit different from the Yiddish curry you've made before.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm always open to experimenting with new things.
Certainly, yes. And while they're having that little conversation, I think Ori kind of like looks over at what Ichika's doing on the table, just kind of curiously.
This entire time, this girl has not looked up.
Oh.
She is absorbed in her work. Do you want to roll a perception?
Absolutely. 16.
Oh, you are in the gallery.
Fuck. Sorry.
It's okay.
My bad.
16. A 16. Yeah, you see you see her fiddling with a little device. It's you would almost call it a plot device, were it not for the fact that it actually has like a very very small screen, and only a few buttons. And in fact, it looks like something you would have to hold with both hands in order to get it to work properly. Out of universe, what she's essentially working on is what we would call a Game Boy.
Oh my god, I love that.
She's currently got the like back casing pulled off, and she's fiddling with some sort of what looks to be a compartment of some kind. And you see that on the table, not only are there like little tools for her to work with, there are also these little metal square pieces with lots of like wirings and circuitry.
Yeah.
So you've got the game cards and the actual gameplay.
Amazing, yeah. Yeah, all of this is just completely alien to Ari. She's like not seen anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, she's probably a little bit too polite to interrupt Ichika while she's working. So Arata might have to step in.
Alright, I'm gonna do a funny bit for this then. he after he's tucking in the envelope into his apron pocket, he sees Ari looking over in Ichika's direction, and he just goes, "Hey Ichika, we've got guests." There is no response. Oh, hi, kitty. She meowed at me.
Oh,
Hi,
Luna!
you want attention? You want to let me continue my bit? No, you just want chin scritches?
No, it's kitty time now.
It's kitty time. Very much kitty time. So there's no response. Arata just goes, Ichika. And you actually see the girl kind of like hunch over even more with her brows furrowed as she's like piecing a little thing back together. Okay, kitty, you want on my lap. You want on my lap so bad. Alright, there we go.
Want attention!
She hates it when I talk on VC. Not pay attention to her. Anyway.
How dare.
Please get off my sleeve. I can't move my arm. There we go.
Her arm now.
Okay, there we go. And then Erotic just kind of like lets out a sigh before he kind of fills a plate with rice and curry and a couple of vegetables that are hidden in there, just kind of like stuck in the roux. And he brings the plate over to Ichika's table, kind of gently moves some of the like metal pieces out of the way before he shoves the plate directly under Ichika's face. And her eyes kind of blink, and like she looks down and looks back up at him, and he's just go, "Curry time?" And he puts a hand on her head and just goes, "We have guests."
God, or Ari just gives like a shy little wave, like, hello, it's nice to meet you, Ichika.
There is a long, quiet moment in which Ichika stares at Aurelia. How is Aurelia dressed?
I think she's probably got her usual outfit, so, you know, it's kind of nice, but not like, you know, super fancy, rich outfit.
Yeah. Ichika just goes, "Oh, you're dressed fancier than I expected."
I think Ari just, like, kind of blushes a little, like, oh, I mean, this is, I would consider this my more, casual wear, but, thank you?
That's casual for you? Huh.
God. Ari, after a great start, folks.
I apologize for my gremlin girl.
Please don't. I love her so much.
You just see Arata just once again push his hand into Ichika's hair, and he goes, "Don't be rude." And she's like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh, no, it's fine. I thought it was a compliment. She kind of says, like, very unsure.
Arata kind of like gives a subtle glance in Xavier's direction, like, "You seeing this shit?"
Yeah, he just kind of like gives like a shrug, like, I don't know what to make of this either, man. Actually, do you think like when Ari was like setting this all up, would Arata have mentioned something about like his sister being a bit like shy and or eccentric or something to that effect?
He would have said that Ichika is very shy, but also her personality is a bit out there. Like, those are the
Yeah.
exact words he would have used.
Yeah. Xavier just like kind of quietly mutters to no one in particular, like, "Well, I see you weren't exaggerating."
um, Ichika just, kind of. She finally straightens up her posture.
Yeah.
And she goes, Arata says you got something for me to tinker with.
Yes, I do. And she'll reach into her skirt pocket and she will pull out the pocket mirror. She doesn't hand it to Ichika immediately, though. She kind of like holds it and like kind of like rubbing her thumb across it. And it says, um, so this pocket mirror, well, it used to have an enchantment on it, a protective one, but the magic sort of, well, it ran out, but also it was sort of sabotaged. That's what I was told anyway. So I was hoping maybe you could take a look at it and maybe get the enchantment working again. But please be very, very careful when you're handling it. It's something that's really precious to me. I don't want to get damaged or anything. Not that you think that I want you won't be careful, but I'm just well, it's
You
she kind of like
talk a
stumbles
lot.
over her words for a moment.
You talk
Oh
a lot.
god. Oh no.
And
That gets her blushing again.
she's just, I could take a look at
So
it at
sorry.
least.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, she'll kind of set it down on the table, and she'll open it up. Notably, there's also there's the mirror, of course, but on the other like the other side of it, there's a little sending stone that's embedded into it. I think Ari will explain. The sending stone isn't originally part of it. It's something I sort of added, so I wouldn't lose track of it.
Mm. And Ichika just kind of nods,
Mhm.
and then she snatches the mirror.
Yeah. Got Ari like flinching slightly, but like
She kind of, like, I say snatch, it's the best way I can describe the motion she does, because
okay, fair enough.
I had to hold her back from doing the gimme kind of hand motion.
Yeah.
She like she grabs the mirror and pulls it up really close to take a look at it, and I want to roll.
I was gonna say Arcana? Yeah, let's do Arcana.
Arcana. Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you have proficiency in Arcana, baby girl? I need to fix up your sheet.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, what'd you get?
19 on the dice. Hi.
Nice.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say you see pretty much everything you need to see with that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so again, this is like on the surface, like it's just like a normal pocket mirror. It doesn't have like any like circuitry or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Ichika would know like magic and stuff, and she'd probably know enchanted objects. And I think like she examines it closely. There's probably like I don't know if ley lines is the right term, but there's like these threads of magic kind of woven all throughout it. It's very very well made. Like whoever did this enchantment, like they definitely really know their magic. It probably this is probably one of those enchanted objects that took like many days, like maybe even like months or something to put together.
Yeah.
And yeah. So the main things you pick up is that the spell that all this sort of protection enchantment is centered around is the spell protection from evil and good. And get the description of that up here. For reference. So yeah, so that's what the spell is mostly centered around. As a reminder, it basically protects you from certain types of creatures, that being aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. It gives them like disadvantages on the rolls, that sort of thing, blah 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 mechanics. But you will note that it has like the general magic of like just like you being able to cast the spell itself, but it's a lot of it is focused around specifically protection from fiends.
Hmm.
You can see they definitely had that in mind when while making this.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think with that role, you can also tell that because Ari did mention it being sabotaged. You can definitely see like kind of probably like of magical scars would be sort of the right term for an object like this, but something to that effect
Hmm.
of like a very powerful casting of like dispel magic, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of winces at that, but she is like, you see her intently looking it over.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, oh wow, someone must have cared a lot about putting this together.
Well, I wouldn't know. All I know is about well, my mother gave me the mirror, but I recently learned that apparently she got it from a friend of hers. I unfortunately don't know much about the friend or who they were. Just that, well, some apparently she was a nun of some kind, probably a cleric.
All right, that was an at one on deception.
Oh.
She notably does not regard anything about the mention of your mother. um, she just kind of looks it over, kind of nods, and she's just like, I think you pissed off someone who. Luna.
Luna.
She started playing with the box, and I'm just like, baby.
She just wants to have fun.
Yeah. Ichika's just like, must have pissed off someone because they didn't like it. And she kind of sets the mirror back down, and she
Yeah.
kind of points at it, and she goes, so it looks like it's not as badly sabotaged as I thought you meant. Um, it's just a casting of dispel magic, but it looks like it might still be in there, or at the very least, the effects have stuck to it. So I might have to transplant some new magic into it. Um, that said, I think I can fix this.
Oh, really? That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll definitely feel a whole lot safer if I can get that working again.
No, hold on. It's not for free. I need you to do something for me in exchange.
Well, of course. How much money do you want for it?
Not money. And Ichika kind of pulls that little device she was messing with back together, and she kind of like sets something in place in from the back casing, screws back in the back casing, and slips a one of those game cartridges into the slot. And she says, I want you to playtest this.
I think there's just like an audible like blink blink from Aurelia. uh, it test. Oh, it's is it some sort of game? Is that what that is?
Yep, I made it myself.
I think the mention of it being a game, I think Angelique's ears kind of perk up a little, and she goes to sniff at it because, well, the girls' night FES we did recently, Angelique's kind of gotten into video games now, specifically the ones that Leo loaned him.
I don't know if you heard that, but Kitty meowed so
I did
loudly.
hear that. Luna go ah.
Yeah, because she sniffed at my foot,
Aw.
and I was like, "You want pets?" And she yelled as I pet her.
Not sure if that's a yes or a no. Anyway.
um, my God, Luna, stop trying to bite me.
Kitty crimes. Anyway.
Um, but when Angelique comes over, Ichika doesn't even ask. She just kind of reaches over to pet Angelique's head.
Oh.
Give little ear
uh,
scritches.
oh. How gentle is she with the pets? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it's not Genie, so she kind of just starts softly before she goes into the actual, like, ear scritches.
Aw. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I think Anjali just kind of gives us a surprise little meh, and then she'll lean into the pets.
You hear a soft from Genie, because haha, it's not hip this time.
Well, I mean, Xavier's definitely been giving a few pets every now and then.
Hang on.
He hasn't gone like full kitty adoration mode because like he's working right now and he has to stay focused, but he's definitely fawning over Genie just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
He.
Um, but if you want Aurelia to play the game, Ichika will show you how to turn it on and how the controls work. But it's an intelligence to play the game, like just a flat intelligence roll.
Intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. All right. That is a 9. Aurelia is not a gamer, folks.
I'm trying to think like what kind of game she would have given you to play.
Yeah.
Probably something.
I first thought it was like a racing game.
I see. The funny thing is, I kind of imagined it as like one of those really, really early Kirby games.
Oh, that'd be fun. Aw.
So you have like that cute little, very, very simple protagonist, shape.
Little blob with feet.
Little blob with feet. And she's trying to show you how it works, and like Ichika is like watching, like leaning over to table to watch you play. Like she has no concept of personal space.
Gosh.
So it might be a little bit uncomfortable as you're trying to figure this out with the game's creator like literally staring at you.
Oh gosh. got Aurelia just like leans away a teensy bit. It's just like, sorry, could you give me a tiny bit of space, please?
And she just casually like leans back and then remembers her
Thank
curry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Aurelia, I mean, it's a Kirby game, so it's like relatively easy, but I think she probably like doesn't realize, to not fall in the bottomless pits, probably stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe she doesn't get the hang of if there's a floating mechanic, probably doesn't get the hang of that quite right away.
Mm-hmm. There's a copy ability? What?
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't realize that part like right away. She's just been like spinning out the enemies each time.
Ichika is casually noting to herself, okay, gotta make the mechanics more obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, Ari's just like, oh, sorry, I'm not playing it right, am I?
It's a game. It's not even done yet. There's no right way to play it yet.
Okay. Yeah, she'll keep like doing her best to play at the game.
And
maybe taking a break when her curry's ready.
yeah, she like Ichika eats her curry like really, really fast.
Yeah.
But I think around the time you beat the first level,
Mm-hmm.
she'll take it back, and Arata will come over and place a plate of food in front of Aurelia.
Yeah, Aurelia will eat some of it. I think Anjali like kind of goes over to your plate and tries to like steal a little bit of like I don't know if it's like chicken curry or beef curry, whatever kind, just steal a little bit of meat off of there. And Aurelia has to like pull like push her away, like Angelique, no, that's mine. Eh.
um, but as you start eating, Ichika, who has already finished eating, is already starting to work on your pocket mirror.
Yeah. I think when she starts working on it, like Aurelia's probably still munching on her curry, but she is like watching Ichika like a hawk as she's working on the pocket mirror. Ichika and Rada can roll insight on here if they want to.
Okay. Uh, well, this was Ichika's. Hang on. What's your modifier, baby?
Yeah, that checks out. That's a 5.
That one was Ichika.
Yeah.
And this one is Arata's.
Hey, that's a lot better. Yeah, I think you can tell that I mean, it's pretty obvious to anyone looking at her that like she's tense about like someone else handling her pocket mirror. But you might get the sense with that role that like there might be like some specific reason or maybe some like specific incident like that why she would be worried about other people handling the pocket mirror.
Sorry, my cat keeps trying to make noise. Can you repeat that? Luna,
That's all good.
Come here.
E.
Come here. Lap time out. Come here.
Oh, Luna.
Alright, she did not take that. She tried to bite me instead. Alright. Repeat that.
Oh no. Yeah, but yeah, so it's pretty obvious to anyone looking at Aurelia that like she's tense about like other people handling her pocket mirror. But I think with the 15, you can Arata gets the sense that like there might be like some specific reason why she's like worried about like other people handling it. Like maybe someone else like took it from her, or somebody else like handled it at some point, and like maybe something happened, or like they didn't give it back. You can't really pick up like any specific reasons why, just that like there's probably a reason why she's like this tense about other people handling it.
I would like to apologize for the noise my cat is making.
It's good. It's not terribly loud.
Okay. Luna, what are you? Come here. Come here. No, you want a different toy. Okay. But I mean, she did mention it was from her mother, so like it. At least Dorada is just like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But like Ichika is very, very careful about taking it apart and like putting it back together and stuff. I mean, not that she's putting it back together right away, because she needs to work on the fine details.
I don't know if it's like the type of mirror that because it's one of those clamshell pocket mirrors. So I don't know. She'd have to like pop out the mirror part on like one side of it. Might have to take the sending stow out so it's like not getting in the way of like all the other arcane like stuff that she's doing because that's like kind of its own separate thing.
Yeah, she probably does take the sending stone out and kind of like places it to the side.
Yeah.
As she is doing this, as she is taking the stuff apart, you see no method to her organization.
Yeah. Well, Ari's definitely keeping an eye on like all the various pieces that come from the pocket mirror specifically.
Yeah. If there is a system in place, only Ichika knows it.
Yeah.
And she has gone back into her horrible posture.
Oh gosh. Xavier looking like he really wants to say something about her posture, but nope, not polite. Not his place to say anything.
Arata's tried, man. In the middle of like probably taking apart the casing for the mirror, separating the mirror from the actual like hold. She goes, so why fiends?
Well, that's been a bit of a long story, but I guess the quick way to say it is, my mother made a deal with the devil when she was much younger, and, well, the devil wanted my soul. I was able to get away from him, thankfully, but he's still out there, and, well, needless to say, I really need some kind of protection from him until we can, deal with him more permanently.
Oh, that makes sense. Normally, people don't make deals with devils, though.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I was
Normally,
laughing.
people don't make deals with devils, though. So it must have been something she really wanted.
Well, indeed she did. It's, well, she wanted to become, wealthy. From what I understand, she grew up in a sort of little out of the way town, out in the country, and, was, I believe the term is maid of all work. Uh, she had to earn her living just doing chores all around the, village. Must have been a rather difficult life having to work so hard just to have enough money for bread and whatnot, so, well, I can understand why she would, want to, have a source of wealth like that, but still, she had to give up quite a lot for that deal, and she certainly regretted it after it all went down.
Ichika gives her
Yeah.
like a small glance, like the vibe is, bro, are you trauma dumping?
A little bit. I mean, to be fair, she didn't explicitly say that, like, her mom offered her, like, in exchange for the deal, but, like, the way she's been saying it, like, Ichika's probably smart enough to put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like, for all of her eccentricities, she is not stupid.
Yeah.
um Luna, what are you hunting? Okay, never mind. Um gives you that sort of glance before she looks back at the mirror in her hands. You see her take it take it apart a bit more. Like she's trying to get to like the base level of all the little components inside of it. Um,
Yeah.
and and she goes, I mean, I guess I can see why she would want to do that, but I don't know. I never really got stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't really understand it either. But, well, then again, I, don't know exactly what it was like for her back then. It's hard to kind of imagine.
Yeah, Miss Fancy is casual.
Oh gosh.
She doesn't say this with like any actual malice, by the way. She's just like she's just like
uh,
that.
yeah, now she's definitely like kind of like blushing again. Like it does not take a lot for this gal to, like, feel like shy and embarrassed and all that.
Yeah. Uh and Ichika kind of kind of looks over the mirror, and as she is like she takes something out, like she pulls out a handkerchief to try and like scrub some stuff down. um
Hmm.
you can roll an arcana on that. But
Sure. Oh wow, dirty 20.
dirty 20, yeah. It is kind of enchanted. handkerchief, uh,
Mm-hmm.
specifically to wipe off quote unquote excess magical energy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a lot of the spell magic and there are some scars. Um,
Yeah.
she's trying to clean that off before she, as much as she can off before she has to pick at it. Um,
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
yeah. Um, Ichika says, gosh, how does she word it? She says, well, if your mother gave this to you, then I guess that means she must have really cared about you. Which I can get that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I think she regretted the deal. Well, probably after I was born. I mean, she made it before I was born, and well, I think she didn't want me to taken away, and that's why she went and got the mirror for me to at least either protect me or delay it as long as she could.
Mm. Did you like her?
Hmm. She kind of goes quiet for a minute, having to like really mull over that question. Hmm. I, well, I think I did. It's. She kind of shakes her head. Sorry, it's a little complicated. I mean, she's my mother, so of course I loved her, but, well, she was sick for a lot of the time that I knew her before she passed away, and so I didn't get to see a lot of her, and she could be a bit strict sometimes and a bit distant, but I do believe that she did love me. She made a lot of mistakes, but I think she really did love me, so.
That's another deception from my girl.
eh,
Slightly better.
Let's see. Well, her passive insight is a 12, so that would beat it out.
Unless you want to roll for it.
I can roll for it. Okay, insight. Oh, 17.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if Aurelia's ever heard the term "same hat."
She might have heard it from Leo. Like,
um, there's something about the way Ichika is like, uh, not responding that seems to indicate that like, ooh, she relates. She relates on a personal level.
oof, yeah. I don't think Aurelia is gonna say anything out loud, but like she definitely kind of gives Ichika a look that's like sort of like I understand, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
silently conveying like I see.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Um,
Yeah.
I think what she does say eventually though, she kind of goes. I mean, it's your feelings. You don't have to make your mind about it. Make up your mind about it anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's God, what did she say? I think she's kind of like just kind of nods along with that. Like you get the sense that yeah, she knows like these sort of complicated feelings. She's had to do a lot of like parsing out like what she feels, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And she kind of goes quiet for a bit as she works.
Yeah, Gari probably goes quiet for a little bit as well. Maybe like picks up the game again and like tries to get through another level.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to roll
Yeah,
another
let me do.
intelligence?
Yeah, let's see if she's gotten better at this. That's a 5.
She got
Think
worse.
she hit. Yeah, think she's like probably just keeps dying to like the one boss or something over and over, like whatever the Wispy Woods equivalent is.
Ichika failed the level scaling.
Oh,
The difficulty spike. Oh no.
yeah. She just keeps getting pelted by apples. Like there's way too many of them.
Um, I think eventually Ichika is just like you see her kind of like pick up another tool and kind of like she doesn't make like she doesn't actually scrape the tool against the thing, but it's a scraping motion, uh,
Mm.
picking off some of the magic and whatnot.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ari will kind of comment. You're really good at that. I mean, I can't make heads or tails of it.
Uh, she kind of fumbles for a bit and she just goes, uh, I kind of got into magic stuff after my mom died.
Oh gosh, yeah. Ari just like Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. At least that she knows her guess was correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ichika
Did
just kind of, mm-hmm.
did your mother do stuff like this too? Sort of arcane circuitry type stuff?
Kinda. She was a scientist. Um, she was working in a very hyper specific field, and then she got bumped off.
Bumped off? You mean as in she was doesn't really want to say it, but she kind of gets the idea.
Yeah, someone thought her research was really, really important, and it was really, really important. But some people didn't want that important information getting out into public hands. So
Mm,
they stole her research.
So awful. I'm so sorry that happened. Goodness, I can't even imagine someone doing such a terrible thing like that.
And she kind of just shrugs and says, World's filled with terrible people.
Mm,
And that's why
I suppose it is.
I do what I do. So I work on magic items to help protect people, and I work on tech to keep people informed.
Oh, it's pretty amazing. I don't want to speak for her, but I think your mom would probably be really proud of you if she knew you were carrying on her memory like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She kind of smiles at that and she says, Yeah, my I like to think she cared about me a lot.
Aurelia kind of nods as well. Yeah. Says, I try to sort of keep my mom's memory alive nowadays too, as any way I can. I used to have a different surname, but I ended up changing it to my mother's maiden name to kind of carry on her memory that way.
That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I kind of figured that, well, when she made the deal, she acquired that wealth by, well, marrying my father. And, so in a way, that deal was to sort of get that surname along with everything that came with it. But I feel like by taking her maiden name, it's sort of giving it another chance for a better life that maybe she could have had. Something like that.
Ichika kind of like fully looks up from what she's doing to look at Aurelia.
hmm
Probably places the tool she's holding down and picks up another one to do something else. Um,
hmm
and she says, "You know, for a rich girl, you're actually kind of nice."
Oh, thank you. And funnily enough, she doesn't get too embarrassed by that. Like, she fully agrees with Ichika on that one. Yeah.
Kind of weird, but nice.
Yes, well, I know, a lot of rich people certainly aren't as, well, I don't want to brag, but, down to earth, I suppose would be the right term. I try to be anyway. Honestly, I prefer the company of, normal people as opposed to the wealthy. They're, well, kind of, stuck up and, haughty and, mean a lot. So,
Hmm.
part, part of why I wanted to move to Inkwell, just sort of get away from that whole life.
I guess. Just don't be weird about that either.
Oh, no, of course not.
I think you get along well with someone I know.
um, Trying to remember, did I think Azumi might have mentioned the person in question?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Oh, think you might be. I think I might know who you mean. Azumi mentioned something. She was also of noble as well. I'm trying to remember if Azumi said the name of her or
Yeah.
not.
It
Yeah.
was Akisato.
I believe it was a Miss Akisato.
Yep. Hitsumi Akisato. She's one of my best friends. She's
Well, she sound.
hmm?
Oh no, you go.
She's also a rich girl like you, and is kind of weird but also really nice, like you.
I think you. Wait a minute. She kind of has a double take at that.
You see, like from the kitchen, Arata just kind of puts his face in his hands.
I think Angelique is actually kind of snickering at that a little bit. Just doing the cat equivalent of snickering, whatever that sounds like.
It really do be like that, huh?
Yeah. Well, anyway, she awkwardly says, trying to move on from that. God. She definitely sounds very nice, so I'd certainly like to meet her at some point.
Yeah, I think you'd like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, she kind of needs friends in high society. Ugh.
Don't, she kind of like waves a hand, like, don't worry, I completely understand what you mean. I mean, I'm kind of the same way, so.
Yeah. God, I I feel a sneeze coming and it's not coming.
Oh no, I hate that.
Alright, we're good. Um,
Eh.
she did roll another deception at the mention of Azumi. Because of course she
Yeah,
did. My little
of course
gremlin
she did.
girl. She got an
Yeah,
18
I'm not
on
gonna roll
that.
for it because yeah, I think Ari would have like a reason to roll for that one, so we'll just go with her passive. Yeah, but yeah, I think they probably just kind of like sit and like she just kind of watches Ichika work or plays the game. Actually, meanwhile, just as another thing to talk about, now that Rod has like made the curry, does it take a chance? Does he have a chance to like take a look at the recipe Xavier gave him?
Yeah, he does actually. Kind of
Yeah,
looks it over.
yeah. So it's definitely similar in some ways, and like it's got like the curry roux and vegetables that sort of thing. So, notably, this one, well, he's a couple different variations. Like, there's a chicken curry and a veggie curry. There is no beef curry, though, interestingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
There's a version with that. And the combination of spices is definitely different. I think he probably would have, like, just to be safe, like, had a couple variations on that, too. Like, there's a spicier version and, like, a more mild version for people who can't handle all that spice. And, interestingly enough, it also has, one of the ingredients is dark chocolate. Which, funnily enough, I think is also like based on like the canon version of the recipe that they released a while back. Is also an element of the curry that Arata makes.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, chocolate is a
Yeah,
common.
there's a little bit of dark chocolate in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chocolate is a common ingredient in curry, especially the roux. Um,
yeah.
but like, yeah. Uh, he's kind of like noting this down. It's definitely a lot different from the curry he usually makes. And he's kind of like mumbling to himself in Yiddish,
Mhm.
already seeing what he can uh tweak about it.
Mhm.
But he does, once he's done, he does kind of like fold it back up and stick it into his pocket. He's on the clock, so he can't uh he
Talk too
can't
much.
yeah, he can't like experiment with that just yet, but
Yeah.
he is curious about it.
Yeah. Well, if he wants to ask Xavier anything, he's just kind of chilling. Keeping an eye in the room, but like otherwise, just hanging out.
The issue is that he recognizes that Xavier's also on the clock, so he doesn't want to bother him too much.
Fair enough. I mean, again, the place is pretty empty, and the girls are just kind of like sitting there and chilling. So like, if he wants to talk to Xavier, I'm just gonna say it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Xavier's pretty good at keeping focus. Like he can split his attention without like losing focus completely. So
Yeah. I think after a moment, he's around is just like before he puts the recipe back up, he's just kind of like, "Where'd you get this?"
actually, developed that recipe myself. It took quite a bit of experimentation to get it just right. That one isn't the exact one that I perfected. It's a slightly altered version of it. Legally, I don't believe I can share the exact recipe I came up with. It's not. I believe the term is intellectual property anymore.
Mm. Yeah, I can get that. Keeping recipes
Uh,
secret. It's a common thing.
yes, indeed. Uh, I developed that one. Well, it's a bit of a story if you don't mind me telling it. I don't want to distract you from your work.
Go ahead.
I think Aurelia kind of like listens in as well because she's a little curious. She hasn't heard the story yet. Uh, yes, well, let's see. This is back when I was still working for my former master back in Albinon. Um, the long and short of it is that we entered a curry making competition. The prize was trying to remember what it was. it's like a trade something. It's basically like a trade certificate that if a company has it, they can like it'll basically just make a lot more money because they can like trade more freely, something to
Mm-hmm.
that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, a bunch of companies entered this competition to try and get this like trade certificate thingy because it would make them tons of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Xavier explains that one such company was the one that that his master owned, the Ashby Toy Company. So, well, they primarily do toys, but they also their company kind of expanded into other things. Like they do candy. They even did women's perfume and like women's products, like beauty products at one point. You know, companies like that they like to expand into like different avenues.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this one in particular was sort of the food products part of the company. And Xavier will tell how he spent like days perfecting the curry, like doing all like he made dozens of different variations of it.
Mm.
Yeah. And he will also say how he went up against in the competition. He went up against the Kansama of a Masonian prince, and he'll explain that a Kansama is basically like the Masonian equivalent of a butler, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was definitely a pretty neck and neck competition. Uh, the Kansama, whose name he will mention is Amir, he came up with this like amazing curry that used like a blue lobster in it. It was like an element, and it was like incredibly fancy and like wowed the judges. But
Yeah.
Xavier managed to pull out the win by not just making this amazing curry, which used chocolate that was like one of the products that the Ashby company made,
Mm-hmm.
sort of tie that all in. Yeah. But he also made these curry buns out of it, basically wrapping the curry in dough and rolling that in like panko or the equivalent breadcrumbs they would have had in Albinon. I don't think they would have had straight up panko,
Mm-hmm.
and frying those. And it was especially popular because now it's a handheld little snack that people can carry along, and it became like especially popular with like the common folk when they started selling that.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that does sound good, actually.
Yeah. I think he makes like a brief mention, like there was a whole another like bit of drama going on with like the Masonian prince and his Kansama. He had come to Albin like looking for somebody, and that was like a whole mess. But after that whole experience, the prince and Amir were both very good friends of him and his master. After that, all that.
Huh. Definitely sounds like quite the adventure.
That certainly was. Probably one of our more lighthearted ones, I would certainly say. And it chuckles. I think Ori will kind of pipe up and say, "So, the prince and Amir, are they still back in Albinon?" Yes, I do believe so. Last I heard from them, they were doing quite a bit of charity work over there, and well, after the disaster that, sorry, that disastrous fire that ravaged the city of the capital of Smouchester, I think we called it. Yeah, that was the name of it. After that disaster, they were both putting all of their efforts into making sure the those who lost their homes are able to at least get a good meal and are taking care of them as best they can.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty decent charity work.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that?
Pretty decent charity work.
Yes, indeed. After that little adventure, the prince decided he wanted to do a bit more good for the world, not just well being lazy and wealthy as he had beforehand.
Well, I can definitely
He
respect
was
that.
yes, he was certainly quite the character, rather childish, which was a bit ironic given he was quite a bit older than my young master. But, well, he managed to mature at least a little bit after that whole experience. I know Amir certainly had his work cut out for him. Honestly, he may have been a butler, but at times I think he was more like the prince's nanny at some points. He kind of chuckles. And I think you guys can roll an insight on Xavier as he's like talking about Amir a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, that's from Arata.
Ooh, 21.
And from Ichika, her ass is not paying attention.
I mean, valid of her, she's like working on stuff, so.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll for Aurelia as well, see what she picks up on. Oh my god, that's a nat 20. It's a 22 total.
Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense because like she's around Xavier like all the time, so she knows him pretty well. Which is why she and both Arata as well, because he rolled really well. They both kind of pick up that you've never really seen Xavier kind of talk so fondly about another person like this. Because he's usually kind of very stiff and polite, but yeah, this one like it's you guys can definitely pick up like Amir like he was a really good friend to him, and maybe he even kind of misses him quite a bit.
Aww.
Yeah, and he definitely respected this guy too. Like, how high Xavier's standards are for everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that like Amir could like keep pace with him, probably not just in the curry competition, but like just as a butler.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people Xavier respects, but this is one of those few people.
Yeah, that checks out.
Mm.
Sorry, I heard my wife cooing over the dog in the background.
Aww.
It's fine. But Arata's just casually pocketing that information away for later.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Ichika has rolled an Arcana for her progress.
Oh yeah, she's definitely making good progress.
Yeah, she got 21 total. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think that.
Huh?
Oh, do you want to say something or?
She is probably switched from like the like actual cleanup to actually rebuilding the like magical effects.
Yeah, kind of infusing it with the spell, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she actually interrupts the conversation by going, do you have any holy water?
Oh dear, I don't believe so. I try not to keep it around. It can be kind of harmful to, she kind of like glances at Angelique and, not quite sure if she wants to like, mention that, what she really is. And then she kind of like corrects that to, well, it can be dangerous for some of the people in the house, let's say.
What about powdered silver or iron?
I think I might have that component. Actually, don't know. Okay, she's a warlock, and Xavier has like a little bit of bard. I think you could probably say like maybe one of them might have that component on them.
Yeah. She kind of...
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, she does do the grabby hands whenever someone pulls it out.
Xavier just like kind of just hands it to her.
And you see her like immediately go back into the work with it, and she's just kind of like using it as part of the spell component.
I will say, I think with that Arcana, I can also give you another little detail about it. So as you're like working on it and doing the enchantment, so I think back to like one line she had like in Strikers, where it was like how you can tell a lot about a person from their programming. Yeah. I think the same is probably similar to like casting magic. Like people have, if you really know magic, you can tell like people have kind of a signature to their casting that's like very specific to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you definitely tell this person was like very meticulous, and that's why it was a very well made enchantment. However, it's a little, in some ways, it's kind of a little too meticulous. So you can definitely fix the enchantment to a certain degree, but you can tell that like to get this thing back to like the full power it was when it was like first given to Ari's mother, you might need like the person who cast the initial enchantment in themselves. Because like it's so specific that like only their magic can really like get it back to full power. But the good news is like you can definitely like fix it to like a certain degree where like it'll at least like have some protection, just
Yeah.
not like full, yeah.
All right. I think as she's like continuing to work, she doesn't even look up as she says, "Okay, I've got good news and bad news."
Oh, well, I guess let's start with the good news.
The good news is that I can get the protection from evil and good back up.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, then what's the bad news?
I won't be able to get it back up to full power. You're gonna need a higher level artificer than that, and I think specifically you'd want the person who actually made this.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Shifu looks a little bit disappointed, but not too much. Well, well, at least you can get it working partially. I mean, any bit of protection more is good.
Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah.
do not slouch in this kind of work, she says, slouching.
Xavier once again biting back a snide comment. He's
Arata,
trying, man. He is trying.
Arata just goes, "Are you gonna straighten up your back?" And Ichika just leans further. it,
God, Xavier just like turns away and like just pinches the bridge of his nose.
Arata just kind of looks over to Aurelia and he goes, "The point is, um, Ichika's really good with this kind of stuff, so, even if it's not up to full power, like she says, um, this, the protection from evil and good is, um, it's probably going to be pretty solid."
Well, that's certainly a lot better than it was, which was, well, not being able to do anything at all. Really, though, thank you so much for doing all this. Are you really sure you don't want me to pay you anything for this? I mean, I feel a little bad. You're doing so much work for me.
Sorry, Ichika handed me a funny line.
Oh boy.
As she is continuing to work, you hear her go, "You can pay me in ramen." And Arata just goes, "No, try again."
Really, just like, I mean, I could give you money to buy ramen, or unless you want to go out and get ramen together.
And she kind of like looks up in surprise. And she just goes, "You want to hang out with me?"
I mean, sure. I mean, you seem pretty nice, and I certainly wouldn't mind making another friend. If that's all right with you, I mean.
Ichika, under her breath, "Whoa, my charisma must be off the charts today."
Oh God. Oh gosh, I love her so much, man.
Once again, Arata translates. um, I think she would like that.
Of course, then. Well, then we'll go and get ramen sometime, I guess. We'll have to see what. Are there any ramen places in Toontown?
Arata just goes, "Oh, yeah, actually, there's a ramen shop a couple of streets down. I actually know the owner. I tutor his kid."
Oh, that sounds perfect then. We'll have to go there sometime. I've never actually tried ramen myself before. It's sort of like a noodle soup, right?
Ichika puts her work down and like leans against the table, and she just goes, "You've never had ramen before."
God. Early leaning back slightly, more than a little intimidated. No? It's not really a thing where I'm from.
We have to fix this ASAP.
God, I think if Aurelia's getting like intimidated, I think Xavier will like chime in. All right, I know you're a bit excited, but perhaps give her a little bit of space, yes?
Ichika kind of like blinks and like folds back up into her hunched position before she goes back to work, and she just goes, "All right, tomorrow then."
Sure.
Cool.
Hey. I know that Ichika's not a wild card, but I feel like this would be the point where like the tarot card for the hermit would pop up.
I am thou art I.
Thou art I had to. Oh god.
Um, but Arata has this expression on his face that like has the impression that if he were a toon, there would be a large sweat drop over his head.
Love that.
You seeing the shit, Xavier?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they just kind of like exchange a look with each other.
Genie is kind of snickering.
Yeah.
I think, um, Ichika kind of, closes up part of the mirror, and she goes, "Alright, I think that's my enchantment done. It kind of feels weird building off of someone else's work, but it is what it is."
Neat. I think, or it will say, I guess I could, try testing it out?
Oh.
And, Angelique will kind of, I usually like kind of like stand up and like stretch, and she'll start to walk away, then kind of think of it, and then like kind of wander back closer. I think Ari will kind of like over there mentally like kind of stare at her for a moment, but like over the mentally she's sort of saying like, "Are you sure?" And Angelique responds like, "Yeah, I mean it's one way to test it, right? And I'll be fine. I don't think it'll like hurt me or anything, right? Just kind of push me away." Yeah, they have the brief little like mental back and forth. Or Ori will take the mirror, kind of examine it, make sure that it's okay, not like scratched up or anything.
Oh yeah. For all her again eccentricities, she was very careful with this mirror, especially after you said it was from your mother.
Excellent. Congrats, Ichiga, you have gained a +1 trust from Aurelia. Right, and yeah, so she'll cast the spell, and let's see. So I know mechanically, normally it probably wouldn't like affect somebody's familiar, but for the sake of this, let's just say because specifically it grants disadvantage on attack rolls, and you can't like charm or frighten the person casting it. So yeah, I think that'll probably manifest as like Angelique probably feels like a little weaker as as the spell goes off. Xavier's fine because like he technically counts as a humanoid, not a fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Aurelia will cast it and she'll say like, "Oh yes, it seems to be working. Oh, this is perfect. Thank you so much, Ichika. I'm so glad this is working again."
Oh, we're on first name basis already.
Oh gosh, right. Sorry. Would you prefer and it's
No,
Satoru, right? Yeah.
you can call me Ichika. It's fine.
Right. Sorry, I keep forgetting that in Yeto you're only supposed to use first names if you're closer to someone, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But I I don't mind. We're getting ramen later.
Hey, that's true. Aw.
My girls making friends.
You're doing such a good job. So now I'm thinking because like the whole first name thing has been brought up. I'm trying to think of how she would like bring this up because like now she's thinking about the fact that like most people call Azumi Azumi, even those that are like closer to him. Well, to
Mm-hmm.
be fair, his brothers call him Shiro sometimes, right?
As far as I know, only Camille and I
That's
think
right. Yeah.
Leo gets away with it sometimes.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He. Yes, I mean, it's such a fascinating part of your culture. I think. I mean, it's interesting how it seems to be a bit different for everyone. I mean, well, most people call Arata Arata, but well, with Azumi, most people call him by his last name.
That's
I
because he's a
thought.
weird person too.
I think Anjali kind of snickers at that a little bit, like, well, he's a certainly interesting person, that's for sure. But
Hmm.
you want to roll another deception on that?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she'll probably continue with yeah. I mean, well, we're pretty good friends at this point, but I don't know, just I mean, only a couple of only his brothers really call him by his first name, and it always just feels a bit strange to call him by that. So that's why I've just stuck with Azumi.
That
Oh
is
wow, that is a 3.
does not beat your passive.
Yeah,
She's not saying anything, not because she doesn't want to be rude about it, but you get the
yeah.
distinct impression that Ichika might not like Azumi.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Ari is like probably too polite to say anything. I think Xavier would probably pick up on this too because that doesn't beat his passive either. I think both like neither of them are going to say anything, but definitely kind of tucking that one in the back of their heads for later.
Mm,
Yeah. Especially interesting because like well, Zumi sort of recommended her to them,
yeah.
so yeah, yeah, that's a can of worms they would rather not open.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least, I think Ari probably gets a sense like maybe stop talking about Azumi for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ichika's just like, it's because he's weird. There's no really big reason about it. It's been weird about it for a while.
Right. Right, well, in that case, it's probably better if I just keep calling him Azumi then. Don't want to make him uncomfortable or anything, so.
Mm. Could call him Azumi-kun.
I'm gonna roll history because, like, I don't know if anyone's like given her a lesson on like the honorifics yet. Oh, dirty 20! Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna say that like it probably would have been Azumi who gave her this lesson on them because she probably was curious about like Yiddish honorifics and like what
Yeah.
what each one means. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she knows what kun is. And is hmm, uh it's not it's maybe a little too familiar. I'm not quite sure about that one. I'd have to ask him first, I suppose.
She kind of snorts.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Miss Yamazaki calls him Azumi-kun, so I'm not sure what kind of message signals I would be sending if I started calling him that, I mean.
Ichika is about to say something, and Arata, who has, like, is walking up close, like, before Ichika can say anything else, just puts a hand on her head and just goes, "Don't say anything."
Ari just kind of like tilts her head curiously.
They have a little sibling stare off.
Yeah.
Ichika's looking up at Arata. Arata's looking down at her. His hand is still on her head.
He looks at me, and I look at her.
She looks at me, and I look at her. Anyway, it's a... There's a long moment of silence like that. Before Arata's just like, just call it whatever you're comfy with.
Yeah. I think I'll probably just skip the honorifics just to keep it simple.
Arata just kind of shrugs and is like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Right.
Alright.
Yeah, I think we could probably wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I did want to do like one small little thing. I think like as they kind of wrap things up and like as the two of them are leaving, um, would you say that Arata would probably like say goodbye to both of them? Well, three of them actually, but
Yeah.
as they're all leaving.
Yeah. Gives a little pet to Angelique, offers a hug to Aurelia if she wants one.
Yeah. I think as they're leaving, like, and Arata's saying goodbye, Xavier will kind of like turn and wave and say, and you take care of yourself as well, Amir. And, does Arata notice the slip of the tongue there?
Yeah, he kind of raises a brow and he's not saying anything. He's not embarrassing this old man. Ichika, however, is just like, ooh, slip of the tongue.
Yeah, I think that's more than enough for him to say, for like realize his mistake, and he kind of funnily enough stumbles over his words for a moment, which is very much unlike him, and he says, my goodness, my apologies for that. I meant to say, or rather, Mr. Satomi. Please excuse me for that, and I think he'll just hurry his way out of the inn.
As he leaves and the door closes, Ichika kind of like looks up at Arata and goes, "I think he likes you."
Oh. And meanwhile, as the trio is heading out and like heading down to like the teleportation station, Xavier does his best to ignore the chill that runs down his spine again. And I think we can end it up there.
All right.
Yeah. Yoo-hoo.
Alright. Interesting. Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for playing with me, Kit.
Thank you so much for playing with me. This was very, very fun. And I should also say for the listening audience, since now that Ari's pocket mirror has been partially repaired, so now it is able to cast protection against good and evil once per day.
Evil and good.
Evil and good, sorry.
Wizards love to mess with the name.
It's like I mean, like to default, everyone always says good and evil for like everything, but it's supposed to be evil and good like for D&D, and it throws me off every single time. Gosh.
It'd be like that. And thank you so much to our listening audience, both now and in the future. We will bid you all a good time zone.
Bye everybody.